Hello, people. Welcome to Mainevent Box Talk, and we've got a full cast today. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Spencer.
What's going on, sir?
Good. Right, let's fly straight into it. Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson on a decision. Right, what do you think, Tom? Oh, dear.
Well, Mike's strategy was, as you saw in his trading videos, was to push him back to the ropes and throw combinations.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he couldn't do that, and by the end of the second round, he blew out his knee totally, and then he could barely stand on it to push off. But the interesting thing was Jake couldn't touch him. Not really. I think Jake, after that first round, when he got knocked across the ring by a jab, realized he better not come in and stand in front of him. But Mike was having a lot of difficulty just moving around the ring. So they both made $20 million. I think it's a little bit of a blemish for Jake Paul's future stuff, but that's about all I have to say about it.
Okay, what about you, Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of tell Mike didn't look good walking into the arena. You know, it didn't look like his legs was going to hold out. I mean, it held up for the 8 rounds, but he wasn't in any real confrontations inside the ring. Jake Paul didn't really do anything. He stayed away. Like you said, I think he got touched in that first round and was like, well, that's enough. You made me a believer, Mike. I'm going to stay away from you. just stayed away.
My opinion is, what were people expecting? What were they expecting? We all knew what was going to happen. I think you're not going to get a Mike Tyson unless you get a time machine. You're not going to get a Mike Tyson that beat Trevor Berbick or Larry Holmes. Time machines don't exist. You can't rewind the clock back 20. The fact that Mike Tyson was in there, lasted 12 rounds, was amazing in my opinion. But I think he was only in there 8 rounds because Jake Paul let him, because he didn't want to embarrass him. And the fact that Mike Tyson is still alive to this day is a miracle. So the fact that I saw him there, I was pleased as a fan of Mike Tyson. I was pleased just to see him living and breathing, and see him in there. It brings back a bit memories, We know that in his prime he would put Jake Paul in the coffin. We know that. But it is what it is. We have to accept that every legend has their era, and no legend, no matter how much money is offered, should ever come back. In my opinion, why bother ruining it? What you've already got.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, I watched Oliver McCall's fight, and
did he win?
He wasn't looking too good either, but at least he can move. He could walk,
But he can still box even when he was 39, 45. He could still box to like a top 60 standard, and he's still got his faculties, He never had any bad injuries in his career. Right, shall we? What next for Jake Paul before we move on?
Well, we got a whole bunch of people calling him out.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, would he take on Beterbiev? Beterbiev would probably bust him up, and anybody. Davis is calling him out.
Yeah, Beterbiev is calling him out. Kevin Larena said, "Come up and fight me at Bridgerweight. You could get a title shot." Well, not come up because I think that fight was at heavyweight, so come down, I guess. He was saying that he wanted to fight Daniel Dubois, which is suicide.
Suicide.
Yeah. I mean, any one of these guys that's full-fledged boxers, I think, will beat him, convincingly.
Let's be realistic. I mean, he fought Tommy Fury, who only had 2 bouts, and Tommy was landing combinations on him,
In my opinion, he should go where the money is. If somebody like wants to offer him, someone like Dubois wants to offer him dumb money, he should just take it. Or if any of the guys in the feather, like the Tank Davis, would be more realistic, because I think Tank Davis could hurt him, but I think that he could stay there for the full 8 rounds or whatever it is. That's the only difference, because Tank Davis is so small. I think he could take the punches, but he'd still lose.
Not a body shot.
Yeah, but
he might not be able to take.
But he hits harder than Tank Davis, don't he? You'd have thought so, being heavy. The technique is good, but he can hit as hard, not hard.
I mean, if he get clean shot, if they was to be, it's possible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we'll move on because we've exhausted.
She's sleeping. Wow, what happened?
Katie Taylor beats
Amanda Serrano
on the lucky score. Very lucky.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would have given it to Serrano. She landed more. She controlled the fight more. You know, that was a terrible cut she had. I think they should have probably stopped it, you know, in the 7th round. She would have been ahead on the scorecards.
Mm.
That's another example of where the corner should have just stopped it. I mean, it was a disgust. You could see the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah. What did you think that Katie won?
Nah, I think Amanda got robbed twice. But
What? You there?
Yeah, I think he's there. Yeah.
Amanda got robbed twice.
Yeah. It was a great fight, though.
Mm.
I don't think she was.
Yeah. It was definitely the best fight of the night.
I don't think those butts were intentional, though. I think that's just the clashing of a.
Some of them looked intentional. Especially when they was clinching and it looked like Katie was pushing her head up into Serrano's head. So some of them looked intentional. Not all of them were, but some of them did look, especially when they was clinching, you know, when they was close together.
I mean, she was cut too. They were both cut. I don't know.
But it was a good fight. Serrano, you know, she definitely got a lot of more of the public believe she won that fight. So, I mean, it's not helping her record or anything like that. But, you know, she got like I guess an honorary win if it's based on the fans' reaction.
Do we want to see it again? Go ahead, Nathan.
My opinion is Katie Taylor should stay away from Amanda Serrano because she won't get lucky a third time. If she fought a third time, she would lose. Also, I think Amanda Serrano should move up a couple of weights rather than fighting at a weight where no one's going to challenge her. It seems pointless her fighting at featherweight or whatever she is. It wastes of time. You know, she should just go up a weight above and then just fight there. And then Katie Taylor's not going to be around much longer. And also, Katie Taylor should probably move up a few more weights to middleweight or something. You know, not the top people, but you know, she could win a couple of belts, maybe at light welterweight. You know,
she ain't moving up to middleweight because then she might have to face Clarissa.
Or super lightweight, super lightweight. No, welterweight. She can move it to properly.
Yeah, she might be. But what was that at 140?
138. They had a catch weight. 138.
I think she should retire. I don't think there's any thing left for her to do, really, other than a rematch with a third match with Serrano or Cameron or whatever her name is. Cameron.
Yes, Cameron is another one.
But she's 38 years old. Because the problem with the women's division is how weak is it that Amanda Serrano can go up and nearly beat the champion? It shows us how weak the divisions are.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not what the men's division is. No. Amanda Serrano is the lady version of Manny Pacquiao.
She is, yeah. But without the competition. Without the competition.
Yeah.
Right. Let's move. Sorry.
That's not her fault. She's so good. It's not her fault.
No, it's not. But it's going to be another decade, 10, 15 years before we see it level out to what it should be, you know?
Yeah. That's
right.
True.
Let's move on. Mario Barra gets a draw with Rama, a guy he was meant to destroy. What do you think of this, Spencer?
I mean, it was a close fight. I probably would have gave the edge to Barrios, but it was a close fight. I was expecting Barrios to actually win. I keep forgetting who the hell did Ramos fight that was a big name that he he did better than people expected him to do.
Yeah. I mean, we can't really go off his boxer ranking because boxer is computerized and their rankings are garbage. Right. My opinion is I think Barrios is the worst of the modern world champions in the main weights. He's also looking for a belt, and the welterweight should be queuing up to fight because he's really not very good.
I think he's too small for the division. I mean, he fought Tank at 135 or 140. I don't remember.
130.
140. It was 140.
I think Well, he was gifted by the WBC the leftover title from Bud, but I think that guy was good. He took his punch. Once he knew the guy wasn't going to knock him out, he went after him, and that's always dangerous,
Barrios is the definition of a paper champion, a guy who is very fortunate to have won 2 world titles at 2 weights. I'll leave it there. I'm not impressed.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely. The welterweight division, they got 4 champions now, so they should mix it up for sure.
Yeah, he's going to
go fight Boots.
I think he'll beat the other champions apart from Ennis, apart from Boots. Other than that, he beats everyone. That division is anyone's. If they can stake a claim to it, you can have it. It's so open, the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Ennis better get his footwork together. He gets hit too much in the pocket.
Yeah, that could be him being bored with the people he's fighting.
Yeah, but if he moves up to 154, he's not going to be able to take those shots as well.
Yeah, he can't play around and get hit as much. Once he goes up there and gets better competition in the ring across from him, he definitely can't do what he's doing now.
Right.
Yeah.
He'll be a mere mom.
Right, guys, let's move on to our next thing. We had a cruiserweight unification fight. This was for the WBA and the WBA. This was a great fight. I thought, you guys talk first. Give your opinions on this first.
Well, you mean Zurdo and Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was obvious the boxing IQ was better for Ramirez than it was with Smith. It was a good fight, and then I think Smith won the first 2 rounds, and then after that, Zurdo, got himself together and started picking him apart. And so it was a clear win for Ramirez. But it was a great fight. Smith didn't give up.
Yeah, I agree. CBS is he a warrior. He definitely wasn't winning the fight. Zurdo had his number, especially after like Tom said, once the 3rd, 4th round came into effect, Zurdo really was, on cruise control, beating him. I think I'm not sure how Zurdo might fare against Apatai, but I wouldn't mind seeing that fight.
Neither would I. I'd love to see it. Actually, I think Apatai is maybe just a little bit too much for him. In terms of punching power, and they would both be southpaw, so it would be a different kind of fight.
Yeah,
he won't have that southpaw advantage.
Right, I'll give you my opinion. My scorecard was 108 to CBS and 120 to Ramirez, because in my head he only won the first round CBS. Then after that he was getting dominated, even though he hit him with good shots. Ramirez was working his way. After the second round he took over. He was throwing good body punches, good to the head, and CBS has no defense. His defense is hopeless. He's tough, but he needs to work on that defense. He will come again and he will win a world title again at this rate once the top guys move up. Because I don't see Ramirez staying at cruiserweight. I don't see Apatai. And I was reading that Ramirez will be fighting the WBC cruiserweight champion. I can't remember his name. And then he'll look at clearing those, but I don't think De La Hoya will let him anywhere near Apatai if he can get another belt,
Well, doesn't Apatai have 2 belts?
No, I think he only got the IBF.
Oh, okay.
So, and he's a lineal champion, but I don't see. I think Ramirez will duck that fight, and once he's got 3 belts, he says he's the best, and then move up to bridgeweight or heavyweight. Yeah.
Go ahead.
But he does look good at this weight. He looks how he should be. How the hell he made 168, I'll never know. When he was at 175, he did look great. Now he's at cruiserweight, he looks great, because there isn't the competition at cruiserweight apart from the top of the 3 guys. There's nobody else, so you can dominate. You can move up a few weights, going this weight where the talent level really isn't that thick.
Yeah, he could. Going after the WBC guy will give him another fight at cruiserweight, give him some more rounds there. Because I don't know if he's quite ready for Apatai yet at cruiserweight, but another fight or 2, he might be.
Yeah, Apatai is peaking now.
Yeah.
And so Ramirez is getting better as well. I just think he will not stay at this weight very long because I don't think he'll be able to make it too much longer. I think very soon he'll be moving up to bridgerweight. He's the sort of guy that's a big enough name where he could make that division mean something, you know? Then
Yeah, he could. He could.
You know, they'll start.
Especially if he
anyway,
fight.
we better move on anyway to our next one. We haven't got a great deal of time. Right, number 5. Barboza Jr. outboxes Jose Ramirez over 10 rounds. I didn't see this one. You give your opinion, guys.
Well, I saw it, and he did outbox him. I mean, it was a tough fight. The other guy was undefeated, I believe, Jose Ramirez, right?
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez ain't undefeated.
Wait a minute. Barboza's on. Which one of them is undefeated?
Barboza.
Ah, okay. Well, Jose Ramirez, he hung in there, but he was just outboxed. That's all. I mean, that's about it. And Barboza, stayed disciplined the whole fight, and he did what he had to do to win. He moved, he countered, and all the way out to the end there. He did catch, he was in the last round. I think he took the last round. So he went out like he should have, and he got the decision. That's the simplicity of it. He's 31-0 now, right?
Yeah. He wanted him since he was the champion. Barboza wanted a shot at Ramirez since he's been the champion. So that might have been a little extra for him winning this fight.
Yeah, one guy's on the way up, the other guy's on the way down. It's an old story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
hello?
His signals. He'll be back in a second. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, Barboza, is he a champ at 140?
I don't believe so, no. Let me have a look. Let me look on the machine. Jamie Barboza. Let's have a look.
Because I think Haney still got his belt, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Haney, he still has his belt.
Haney's given that belt up.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing we could talk about.
No, I can't see it. It's not coming up, but I don't think he has got a belt now. So,
okay.
But I don't know. I can't find it. But anyway, Barboza's a good fighter who's going to get better. I do believe that Ramirez has had his time. He's been a unified champion. There's not much more for him to do.
For sure. His best days is behind him.
He's got a continental super lightweight belt, the WBO.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, really, does it? Come on.
Yeah, I know. I'm just throwing that in there.
Right.
Oh, so he gonna fight Tio soon.
Oh, well, hopefully he'll fight him. Nobody wants to fight Tio
because he's too good.
Yeah.
Right. We'll move on to number 6. Tevin Farmer loses to William Cepeda by a split decision.
Yeah. Well, he dropped him on his ass in one round.
Yeah.
But the guy got up. It was a good fight. But,
I didn't get a chance to see the whole fight. Did he win the fight?
Cepeda won. Split decision. It was close. It was a good fight.
Okay.
It was a good fight. I mean, it was a tough fight. He put Cepeda on his butt.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I'm not. Well, Tevin Farmer is another dude that he's a serviceable guy. I don't know if he'll win another title. Was this at 135 or 130?
Let's see here. I think it was one. It doesn't. Yeah, lightweight.
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
Shakur was in the mix there too.
Yeah. My opinion is that Tevin Farmer was a 34-year-old guy. He had his title run 6-7 years ago. Made 5 defenses when he was at featherweight, super featherweight. He's a good fighter. He's a guy. If you look at his record, he lost like his first 3 or 4 fights, pretty hopeless, and then he got somewhere and won a world title. He proved that it doesn't matter how bad you start, you can always get there. He's won the world title. He hasn't got much more to prove. He could win a world title this way if any become vacant against lower opposition. But so I'm not going to count him out. He's just he's there or thereabouts. He should probably pick his fights a bit more carefully from now on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tough fight. They both duked it out, but they were ignoring a body. I think Zepeda landed more body shots. That what was slowing Farmer down.
Yeah.
But
Right.
he
Yeah.
did what he had to do. He put him on his ass, but he couldn't close the show.
We will move on. This was a fight I watched it only last one. Charles Martin came back and won against Matthew McKinnon 1 round. The knockout was pretty good. But Charles Martin is the same old thing, fight the same old tomato cans, get another big fight, lose. He's just like a modern day Chisora, basically. Loses to the top guys. But can't beat, It was a good performance, as performances go. What do you guys think?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I too soon can't really judge too much on that. I mean, he won. He did what he was supposed to do because the dude wasn't supposed to be any type of competition for Martin, So he, like I said, he did what he was supposed to do.
He gave Anderson a really hard fight.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, if the guy stays in shape and is really motivated, he could come up the rankings and maybe get a shot.
Yeah, I mean, he's a southpaw, so that's always a different look for a lot of guys. He's been on a big stage before, so that shouldn't overwhelm him. Whether or not he'll get a shot at something again, I don't know.
Well, let's put it this way: he can make some more money if he keeps himself in shape. I don't know if you guys heard, but another southpaw, Rigondeaux, knocked a guy out in the second round.
Did he?
Yeah.
At 45 years old or whatever.
44, yeah. 44.
Okay.
So props to him, man. He's trying to stay active.
All right.
Also, I think Charles Martin, he's like the guy you wheel out when you test your prospect. He's found his level. He's won a world title. He's had a good career. He's had a career that he shouldn't have really had. But, it is what it is. He's a former world champion. Not many people have done that.
Right.
So, right, we'll move on. Hamza Shiraz has pulled out of a purse bid to fight Janibek, which I think is a wise decision.
Yeah, it is.
He was a more beatable champion because they know that if he loses to Janibek, people won't talk about him. Because if he fights Adamez and beats him spectacularly, it's going to look good. Then he can learn and build his way up as a champion. He doesn't have to go straight in there against the best. The hype train can keep going a bit longer.
Well, Carlos Adames is not a cup of tea, so
he's not, but he's easier to beat than Janibek.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would definitely rather, if I was the champ or the guy having to choose between the two, I would probably want to roll the dice against Adames over Janibek. But Janibek, who was it? Offer? No, it wasn't Offer. It was somebody. Who did he fight a couple of fights ago? That he looked.
What? I can't remember.
He looked beatable.
Yeah. But Shiraz hasn't really fought. Most of his fights have been like 5 rounders, 1 round knockouts. We don't really.
Yeah. He ain't ready. He ain't ready for Janibek yet. Yeah, he definitely should go another route, get some other fights under his belt.
I don't think he's ready for a title shot at all. I think he should leave it another year, see where he is in a year, then take a title shot, or wait for Janibek to move up. Because he's only 23 years old. He's only going to get better. Shiraz. I don't see the point of rushing.
Well, the fans want to see as soon as you become popular or noticed, they want to hurry up and see you get a title shot.
When you hurry people up, we've seen it go wrong so many times. People should
so many times
and become the champion they're going to be, not get rushed because some fans want it early. Boxing shouldn't work like that. Should be when you're ready. It's getting built up. He needs more rounds. He needs the right fights. He hasn't had the right rounds or the right opponents or the right fights. Really.
That's right.
Yeah. The right people ain't in charge of boxing.
We know that.
We're in charge of boxing.
Right. We'll move on. Promoter admits there is not much to gain for the winner of Christian Mibili.
No, he says there is much to gain.
Okay. Explain.
Promoter admits there is much to gain for the winner of Mabili versus Diego Pacheco. That's an interesting fight.
Yes, it
Pacheco
is.
out of Puerto Rico is a pretty disciplined boxer puncher. And Mabili, I think Mabili probably has more experience at this point. And he's fast. Diego is smart, but I've only seen him really in one one energy level, the same style. I think Mabili is more versatile. Let's put it that way. I think it's a little too soon for Diego Pacheco, actually. I think they should hold him back from this. What do you think?
I could see that Diego might not be quite ready for him, Billy. And Billy, he's good. He's good. I'm quite not completely sure about him yet, but he's decent.
No, he is. I think he could be a title holder if he gets some more seasoning. I don't think he has enough seasoning. He hasn't seen, I think, enough styles yet. Billy is like a few steps up the ladder for him, I believe.
But, yeah. Diego, I don't think he should fight him either yet. But if he, hey, again, this is another one of those situations where they might be rushing the guy or putting him in there when he ain't ready yet.
Yeah, I believe they are.
Right. Let's move on. Callum Smith returns to headline a small event on November the 30th. It's still TBA. There's no opponent name. I don't know how much further Callum Smith can really go. I mean, he's been a Unified champion or whatever. What really more can he do?
Well, at light heavyweight, I mean, who's there to fight for him? He lost to Biterbi.
Nobody.
I mean, maybe Bivol. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a fight for Bivol.
I mean, maybe if he fights someone like Joshua Buatsi or someone like Anthony Yard, two guys who I believe he's good enough to beat, in my personal,
Yeah, and that'll be a good domestic scrap. I think any one of those two prospects might be good for him.
The only reason is because Buatsi's got a belt, got an interim, and I think Biterbi is going to move up to Cruiserweight very soon. So therefore it'll be for a world title, so then we'll have another default champion.
Yeah. Calum could get a title of light heavyweight once Biterbi moves up.
He's definitely good enough to
Bivol, goes in there and well, yeah, he could. But Bivol will probably step in there and win a couple of those belts back.
Yeah.
But they'll keep him away from those guys. They'll let him have a belt, they'll milk it. Like he did at super middleweight. Win a belt, milk it. There's nothing wrong with winning the belt and milking it, There's nothing wrong with that. Plenty of people have done it in the past,
Yeah, I think his halcyon days are behind him. We'll see. They'll have to match him with somebody where he can win to get his ego back up,
Okay. Right, we'll move on. Turki Al-Sheikh has bought the Ring magazine from Oscar Lawyer for $10 million. Wow. And he says he wants to put it in print and put it, as soon as it's back, he'll be in print and it'll be sold in the UK and the US. I don't pay too much attention. And apparently his intentions could be that he's going to make the Ring magazine title mean something so that you have mandatories for it. Things like that, make it an existing organisation, that's already there and build it into something good,
Yeah.
But if he started into the sanctioning body, people would bitch and moan about it. So the fact that he's bought the Ring magazine and he wants to make it a legitimate organisation, if that is his plan, is a good move. Take the oldest product out there and make it mean something. What do you guys think?
Bro, take it. Take it, Spencer.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad thing because he's actually working with, unlike Oscar De La Hoya, who has his own promotional company, there's definitely a conflict of interest for him owning the boxing Bible and all of that. Whereas Turk, he works with all of the promoters. He's working with all the different boxes to try to put on the best fight. So in that aspect right there, that I think is a better thing for the Ring titles if he's the one that's going to be in charge of it, because his fights are definitely more of the fights that the fans want to see.
Mm. So didn't what's his name? Bert Sugar used to own that?
No, Oscar La Hoya owned it.
No, I'm going back.
No, before that. Yeah. He was I don't know if he owned it, but he sure enough was one of the major contributors.
Right. And I mean, Bert Sugar took over as editor, I think. That's what it was. He was the editor there. And so it's got a long history of being around as being the most logical of who should be the champion and who should be rated and all that stuff. Because see, Oscar De La Hoya, it's kind of like a conflict of interest, but he was very happy to get $10 million for it.
He only paid $7 for it. He paid $7 for it.
Right.
Well, so he made a $3 million profit.
Yeah, and to do it right, I mean, I think you need somebody independent, and that's going to focus on that, and really don't worry about any conflict of interest with rankings. Usually, their rankings are the closest ones to reality, and that should be kept that way.
Yeah. I'm hoping that he would continue that trend, Turk, and not go with the guys that he's about to start putting on his cards suddenly get high rankings in the Ring magazine.
Well, if you start to see Saudis being ranked high, you'll know.
Well, we know that should not happen. They don't have a history of boxes coming out of there.
The history. They can just buy fighters and say, "Oh, do you want to be champion?"
They could mind swipe. They could brainwash all of us and think that we. They could brainwash us all. They got enough money for it.
Britain did to Lennox Lewis, just steal a champion. Every other people have done it. Right. Why not? As the $1 million man used to say, everyone has a price for the $1 million man.
Yeah, everyone has a price.
That's cool.
Right, let's move on. Oh, this gets worse. A banned boxer, Garcia, is taking an exhibition fight against the guy who fought
Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Ampo. Yeah, that guy looked like he won the fight, but they gave it to him. So he's vowing to revenge Manny. It's because he loves Manny. I mean, he may. He's much fresher than Manny Pacquiao. Let's put it that way.
He'll be getting good money for it, so it doesn't matter. These exhibitions.
Yeah. And he doesn't need a license to box in Japan. They don't follow the rules like that.
Don't know, bloody hell.
Yeah, so he's okay. Just like with what's his name out of England, Conor Benn. Same thing.
Maybe he could find a new home in Japan. Like Linares did, because he always fought in Japan.
Well, he's a big sideshow. They like that, so maybe they'll do it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, hey, I go for it. Listen, hold on, let me see something real quick. Because I didn't see the damn on stream that you're talking about. Wait. Yeah. I didn't see the article y'all talking about.
The bottom line is I think they're going to fight around 154, something around there. And so it's not a big deal. He's going to go over there. They want to see him. He's a spectacle. And he's claiming he's going to, revenge Manny.
Avenge Manny Pacquiao. Hey, Manny Pacquiao had a lot of fans. People looked up to him.
Right. Yeah. Let's move on. David Benavidez will be fighting Steve Morrell for this for the WBC interim and the WBO regular light heavyweight titles.
Yeah, I like that.
If I'm going to pick him, I'm going to have to pick Benavidez because even though Morrell's looked good at super middleweight, knocking everybody out, he didn't fight him. And we haven't really seen him fight anybody decent. So you've got to give it to Benavidez because he's, beaten people. He's got a 29-0 record. Obviously, we can't discount Morrell's excellent amateur background. Pedigree, he's a two-weight world champion, even though they're in the regular belts. What do you guys think?
I think that because of Morrell's last performance at light heavyweight, Benavidez thinks he's going to roll over him. He's not going to roll over that guy.
No, he's not.
It was his first weight acclimating. And Benavidez, when he fought the former champion, he was getting tagged. So this should be a really good fight.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see this since they was both at 168. So, I still want to see it.
Right.
I think I would give the nod to Benavidez, but not confidently.
Yeah,
I think somebody's going to go to sleep. Go ahead. What did you say?
I think you'd be a fool to pick to not give Benavidez the chance. He's two-weight world champion, the same as Morella's.
Yeah, I think he should win, but I think that it's going to be a rough fight.
Both guys are 27. Both guys are not even hit their prime yet. I mean, we know Benavidez was a champion, like 21 or whatever. They're both entering their prime now, so both guys are only going to get better from here on out.
Yeah, we might see a good trilogy or something coming up. This might be the start of a good trilogy.
I think it's a long rivalry where both guys will win titles, dominate for different titles, different weights, and Benavidez will be around, in a decade's time. Morel will be around 6, 7 years. He'll even be a cruiserweight, or even one of these guys may even go to heavyweight. If I was going to say it would be Morel
or Bridgerweight, yeah.
Well, you got to be careful here, because if one of them steamrolls the other one, you may not have a trilogy. If somebody
no,
doesn't matter.
No.
Whoever loses this will still win another world title or do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I got you.
Mean too much in the grand scheme of things. Right. We've already talked about Hamza Shiraz. The bottom one, Deontay Wilder Deontay Wilder's challenge has been responded to by Francis Ngannou. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Both guys don't have great chins in boxing. Both Wilder's shot. Ngannou isn't really much of a boxer, really, overall. So I think this could be pretty close. I still pick Wilder only just, to win this.
I don't want to see this fight. I just don't. I want to see retire. I want to see him retire for the simple reason that Deontay doesn't need the money, and he's showing signs of a little bit of brain damage. And I think he should just, his legs don't look right, his speech, occasionally slurring. Now, Francis Ngannou shouldn't be a big threat boxing-wise, but he hits very hard. And I don't think he needs it.
I think Ngannou should stay away. If he's going to come back to boxing, he should fight very low-level people.
Probably going.
Guys who are very low. Like, I reckon he could beat Manuel Chance, someone like that. But that's it. No one higher than that, very low level. Wilder should be fighting guys outside the top 30. Get a few wins, see where you are. If you don't look great after you've beaten guys who are not big hitters, then walk away,
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind him fighting him just so that he could walk away with a win, with a W in his career. If this was
like a Dave Allen kind of level, someone who's not particularly a threat, where he's definitely going to get the win.
Yeah. I mean, he should definitely get the win against Ngannou also. So, and it'll be some money.
Yeah, but
some money to be made.
Again, you need to warm up. Get someone like a Dave Allen level in there. Sort of fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's about it. We've covered everything, all the bases. When are we next going to do a podcast?
Yeah. You said what?
Mention the last thing.
It's Matchroom Boxing to co-promote former Unified World Champion.
Who is it? Because I didn't get to read that particular article.
Let's see, Josh Taylor. It looks like, it's Josh Taylor.
Okay. Well,
who are they going to promote him with?
They don't have an opponent yet. Maybe Liam Paro or Jack Catterall, Richard Hitchens. Any of those guys.
Jack Catterall
is in a funny situation because he's lost to two world-class fighters, So he's still a world-class fighter, but maybe he should look at the, moving up to welterweight and targeting one of the easier champions, like Norman, who's the WBO, He can still win a world title at a higher weight against a lower level,
Yeah, I hear you.
He's done everything at light welterweight, even though he's lost twice. It doesn't matter. He's been the lineal champion. He can move up. He should have moved up as soon as he beat Catterall,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, that was it.
Hey, that was a fun show, man.
Okay,
We
guys.
got a lot of good stuff coming up in the next few weeks, so let's do another one.
When do you
All right,
next
no
want
doubt.
to do before we go?